Welcome to the Highly Sensitive Alpha Male Podcast. I am your host, Jared Terrell. Ooh, smooth FM, jazz, Coltrane, Miles Davis, and any other jazz artists that I can't think of right now because I don't know very many. Playing you all night long. What's up, guys? If you're watching the podcast, I'm in a new room because those 4 podcasts alone have now allowed me to buy a new room to record in. That's not true. I just switched to a different room. Let's get into it. So I wanted to talk about being considerate. I titled this podcast For Your Inconsideration because there's a lot of inconsiderate behavior in this society, and I don't like it. All right? I just got beefs that I'm just gonna rattle off, and you can tell me. Well, you won't probably tell me at all. You'll keep it to yourselves, which is hurtful and not helpful for me. It's harmful for me because I'm trying to do this thing, get the word out, and I need feedback. So you can be like, "Hey, you're terrible," and don't say I hate you because I'm sensitive. Hence the podcast. But just be like, I don't know, maybe get more guests, guy. Because there's too much. You're just a crazy person. You're just rambling a lot. So, but maybe that is kind of what you tune in for, because I'm gonna say 75% of the time it's just me ranting. 1 in 4 there'll be a guest at most. It's hard getting guests. It takes a lot of work, a lot more organization. You gotta think of questions. Such a lazy piece of shit. You have to put in. I'm not familiar with this word. Effort. A fort. You have to build a fort, and I don't want to do that. You gotta put in effort. A little bit of ice water, delicious. So, the thing that I think irks me the most, like if I had to pick a top 5 things that make me want to murder, yappy dogs. That is up there. It's in the top 3. Like, I don't control your fucking dog. Okay? Control your fucking dog. Train your dog. If you can't afford to train your dog, then beat your dog. No. Jesus, I couldn't even get the sentence out. That's horrific. I love dogs. They're one of the happiest parts of my day is when I get to pet a dog. I go out of my way to pet strangers' dogs. And I always feel weird because it's like this grown man be like, "Hey, can I pet your dog?" But they make me so fucking happy. That being said, if you have a yappy fucking dog, then just fucking train it. I don't know how to do it, okay? Or don't have it. Don't, because if your dog is yapping like that, I get to punt it like a fucking football. Okay, I'm a punter now. Did you know that? I'm a punter for not the CFL, the NFL. Somehow I fucking skipped the CFL, even though I'm Canadian, and I rose to the NFL, and I punt small yappy dogs like I'm trying to get a field goal. Okay, is that a field goal? I don't know about sports. Oh man, I'm drinking this coffee right now. It's not a blend. It's a new whatever strain. It tastes like fucking blueberries, you guys. I swear to God. It was $23 a bag, but worth every penny. You know, you get what you pay for. Anyways, yappy dogs. And the worst thing is the people, because it's not the dog's fault. It's not the dog's fault that it's a fucking idiot, a yappy, dumb fucking moron, because dogs are stupid. Let's be honest. There are some really smart dogs out there, but there's also a lot of stupid dogs. Like, just dumb as a stump. You know, it just wouldn't. But these owners, it seems to be this. They're like this. It's socially acceptable. There's this understanding that small dogs, they just bark. No, they don't just bark. You let them bark. Big dogs aren't allowed to bark because they're scary when they bark. They're intimidating. It's frightening for us, for human beings. So we've trained them not to do that. And yes, sometimes they do. But for the most part, bigger dogs are much more behaved. much more well-behaved. That's the word. I know I can say sentences. It's fine. Right? But because a small dog, it's not intimidating. It's just like, it's laughable. A lot of the time, we don't pay it as much attention. And it's like, it's not okay. Like, I remember I do work for clients, like at their homes. I do stuff around the house. And I was outside gardening. This couple had these two fucking small dogs, and they were both yappy cunts. I will say that. If that word offends you, don't listen to this podcast. They were yappy fucking cunts, and I hated them. And one of them was the worst. It was at the sliding door, small patio, so I'm cleaning the patio. It was at the sliding door, barking at me incessantly, nonstop for an hour. You know what? It might have even been 2 hours. And I think at the time, I was so depressed that I didn't have like the balls. I didn't have the confidence to just be like, can you put your dog in another room, please? It's really, because it was actually, even though I had headphones on, it was just barking. And it's like, I'm eye level with it because I'm on my knees, like don't get, you guys are disgusting. I'm like pulling weeds and stuff like that, right? And cleaning and whatever. And so it was really just, I don't even know the word to describe it. It was really jarring and upsetting because this dog like wants to murder me. And it's at eye level, and it's just, I feel like I'm being yelled at and attacked, you know? Imagine that for an hour plus. So finally, and she's sitting right there working. How the fuck can you work in that? I don't understand. Like, are you brain dead? Have you been hit in the head with a fucking sledgehammer? How does that? And I guess it's the same thing as baby crying. The mother and father just tune it out eventually. But like with a baby crying, sometimes you can do stuff. You know, if it's crying, it probably wants something or it needs something. But sometimes you can't. You just need to let it cry. With a fucking dog, you can do something. I asked her to put it like, hey, can you just like, it's rattling me. Like, I'm rattled from the barking. Can you please just put it in another room? And she seemed a little bit offended. Like she was uncomfortable by the thought. Like, are you serious? Pull your head out of your ass, please. How are you existing in society? That's when I just really hate people. And I'm just like, it's too many of us. Call the herd. That's one of them right there. They're taking too much resources. Okay, let's not get dark. So that's number one, dogs. Just be considerate of the people around you, because I try to have this mentality of, is the behavior that I am enacting, is it upsetting to anyone? Is it going to upset anyone? And sometimes you can go too far with that, because I'm a people pleaser and I don't want to get in trouble. You know, that's like childhood trauma that's programmed in me. And so I kind of, get anxious and paranoid, like, oh, I wonder when I'm too loud, or like, is this gonna, I hope, instead of just being. So you can go too far the other way, but I gotta have a little bit of that at least. Like, fucking think. What are you doing? How are you so asleep? How are you so living in the Matrix that you're completely unaware of what's happening around you? It's nothing bonkers. The next thing is, most of these are public transit related. I take the subway and I take the Boston Transit a lot. This one's a big one for me, and it's been like this for a while, but it's just getting worse and worse and worse. People playing fucking music on their phones. Get headphones. Hey, if you can afford a smartphone, you can afford $20 headphones that aren't even that bad. You can get $20 headphones on Amazon. They'll be shitty, but like, they'll still work. It'll be better quality than the fucking speakers on your phone, I'll tell you that. And the rest of us don't have to hear it. I'll see someone, if they're jogging, or usually they're riding their bike, they look like a degenerate. They just don't. I'm just like, you're sketchy as fuck. I don't trust you. Judgment, Jared. Okay, can we have compassion, please? My goodness. Anyways, so they'll have the music playing, but I don't care, because they're going past me. Fine. You're going past me. You want to play music in the park? It's a park. If it's too loud, I can feel the bass in my chest, I might ask you to turn it down a bit because that's too much. But if we're on the fucking, like, in an enclosed space, that's the problem. In an enclosed space, if you're on the subway or the bus or whatever, you're in an enclosed space with people, turn the fucking volume down or get headphones. And it's to the point too where, like, people, they'll watch whatever stupid videos on their phone on social media, and I'm not giving a shout out to any platform. Fuck you. I'm so angry today. I don't know why. But yeah, and they're listening to videos, and, like, the video's loud. Like, I can hear it. I'm listening to music right now, and I can hear it over my music that's in my head. These are good headphones. They're pretty good. That's not okay. Turn it fucking down. Or get headphones. I tell people all the time. They do not like it. They're actually fine. Some people will do it begrudgingly. One guy a couple days ago, I told him, like, hey man, can you turn the volume down? Or I was like, hey, can you put on headphones? And he's like, oh, okay. And he turned it off or down or whatever. And then he actually moved the other end of the subway thing. Fine. Perfect. Maybe it doesn't bother other people. Bothers me. Again, I have headphones in and I can hear your fucking video. It's just common courtesy, and people don't seem to have that anymore. It seems to have been lost. I mean, I know it's kind of a minor thing, but it can snowball into something bigger. I'm worried about the future and future generations because young people, it's almost like they're not learning it. It seems. Because they do it a lot. But usually the people that are doing it that I'm giving shit to, politely, by the way, I ask them, hey, can you, are like 30 and up. So it's not really the kids. I don't want to, unless the teenager's being really obnoxious, I don't want to tell a kid to not do something. It's just, unless they're being awful and racist or misogynistic or something, I'm not going to, because it's just, I don't know. I don't want to, like, talk to kids. It's like a risk. Teenagers are loose cannons, and it's just, I'm not gonna fuck with that. It's not my job to discipline this child. So that's one. Bags too. If the subway is 75% plus full, take your fucking bag off the seat. Unless you got 4 bags, then fine, you've earned it. You have a bunch of shit, and you gotta put it somewhere. But if you just have 1 bag, take it off the fucking seat. Okay? Common courtesy. Like, I'll get on to cars and 90% full, right? So there's like a smattering of single seats, maybe half a dozen in front of that I can see. And I see someone with a bag on their seat, I will go to that seat and be like, hey, can you move your bag, please? And then sit there purposely to make a fucking point. Because here's the thing, we're so Canadian. This is Canada. I'm coming from Canada. I live in Canada. What the fuck? We're so Canadian and nice and passive that no one will say anything. No one says anything. People won't say stuff. So, fuck that. I will say something. Because it's rude and shitty and inconsiderate, because, I don't know, I feel like I'm like fighting other people's battles. Because unfortunately, people are not going to say anything, and then they're forced to stand, and maybe that person wants to sit. Maybe they're tired. And you would argue, well, they need to fucking stand up for themselves. They absolutely do. But sometimes you just don't want, it's like, I don't want any conflict. I don't want to have to, who knows what's going to happen. It's crazy times, fuck it. I'm just going to stand. And I get that. But I will say something. The reason I thought about this topic was because on the way home from work today, a girl got on the subway and she was spritzing perfume or body spray or something. And she must have been mental. I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, but she must have been, I don't know what was going on with her. She was having a moment, psychosis, or just, because she's like, and I'm like, and in between is something, she has to stop now. And I kept the thought in my head was, she has to stop now. My God, she has to stop now. Jesus Christ, she has to stop now. And I swear to God, 30. She would leave one, like a slight pause and think, okay, that's it. What the fuck? And kept going. I am not exaggerating. At least 20. At least. That's mental illness. Like, that's insane. I'm a fucking lunatic, but I know that that's crazy. What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? And there's no amount of the body spray that chicks do is much less potent than, say, perfume, right? But even then, if you're doing that, that's a crazy amount. That is a lot. And it's just 10 seconds. And luckily, it was right before I had to get off. It was a popular stop, rather. I'm going to say 5-10 seconds. All of a sudden, just this waft of perfume hit me. It was perfume. And I got a headache instantly. And I just thought, that's so fucking shitty of you. Like, you're fucked, obviously. But that's so shitty that you would do that. At least do it when you get off the fucking subway. Because she got on, and then she got off the next stop. So it's like, and I wanted to say to her, be like, hey, it's not cool you just did that. We live in a society where be mindful of your sense is a thing all the time. Doctors' offices don't wear any scent. A lot of offices are like that too. Because people are sensitive to smell. You don't need to be a fucking highly sensitive person to be sensitive to smell, right? And I was just like, what fucking world are you from? Why would you think that that's okay? So now a subway full of people have to smell that shit? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why has no one in her life said something? Like, you know when someone's drenched in cologne or perfume and they walk past you and you're like, ugh, it's a repellent. Might as well be fucking, you might as well smell like skunk. It's awful. It's just, oh God, I can get a headache from skunk. It smells awful, but I get a headache from fucking perfume and cologne. Madness. What else do I want to rant about? Oh, I'm thinking about bikers. In Toronto, I find the drivers not bad. Some people would probably be like, oh my God, he's serious. Everyone has a fucking opinion about driving. But I don't know. People are pretty considerate and I think polite. Everyone moves over. Emergency vehicle passes. I think we're actually pretty great in this. And I realize that because in Thailand, when an emergency vehicle is coming, no one stops. Like, people are passing it on the highway. It's hilarious. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? No one, just zero respect. No one gives a shit. So I really noticed, I'm like, oh, we're good. We're good here. I think in other cities, it wouldn't be as good. Or other world. Maybe even in places like America. No dig at the States, but it's a little bit of the Wild West there. I think we can all agree. You know, shit be crazy sometimes. Anyway, the bikers in this city, there's some bikers that are so fucking entitled and so psychotic. They get so angry and such road rage at the biggest slight. Like, okay, someone's in your bike lane because they're turning. Hey, man, sometimes they fucking, it's not their fault. They just have to do it. They can't see properly otherwise. Like, there's always pedestrians. There's always people coming. It's hard to make a fucking turn. Chill. Don't turn around and yell. Like, I see bikers stop. They get around the car, they stop, and they yell at the person. You're a fucking lunatic, man. You don't have you technically have the right of way, but you're driving this skinny nothing thing, and they're driving a weapon. They're driving something that's thousands of pounds that could destroy you. Shut the fuck up. There didn't even used to be bike lanes, okay? Just be glad there's bike lanes now. That kind of shit drives me nuts. And it's past being inconsiderate. It's entitlement, right? They think they own the fucking road. And as someone who bikes as my main mode of transportation, it bothers me because it gives us a bad rep. I think that's it. That's all I have for today. You're welcome. Thanks for listening. All right, guys. Have a great day or night or whatever. And just keep it real. I just fizzled. It went down. Okay, fine.